I just gotta hold on. I just gotta hold on.
This is Barstow, California. Why people move here? I don't know.
That's what you need to do, boss.
10.
And next time when you get up there, make sure you push the knob up all the way in. If it's not all the way in, it's still around that black rubber thing, you won't start popping.
Well, this is the Mojave Desert. It ain't nothing out here. In this one spot right here, last time I was driving my car, it overheated. In the middle of nowhere. And I'm about 80 miles away from my book signing. And I thought this was a rest area at one point, but this used to be, at one point, this used to be a rest area. And as you notice, this car pulled over because he thought it was a rest area too. Look, where is he going? Now he's turning around, right? But when I pulled over here, when I had pulled over, and I thought I would be able to, get some water, and, let my car cool off, and come to find out, this is a little ghost town. Exit 259, Highway 15 North. Don't be fooled. No gas stations. You're in the middle of nowhere, and it's all uphill. So if you got a car that's overheating, if you had any maintenance on your car, if you changed the water pump, changed the antifreeze hose, or you did anything that's related to your antifreeze coming out of your motor, freeze plugs, whatever, make sure you get from a mechanic, not no side tree monkey mechanic, from a mechanic. Make sure you get all the air bubbles out. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna make sure they keep getting all the air bubbles out of your radiator all throughout the system. They're gonna clear out all those air bubbles because you may have no problem but air in your system. Going up the hill, it's gonna cause your car to overheat, and then you're gonna tear something else up. You're gonna blow a water pump, you're gonna blow a gasket, you're gonna blow something else, all because you didn't get all the air out of your antifreeze system, your radiator, your fuel pump, your radiator, your water pump, anything related to that antifreeze. If you took it apart, make sure you go to a professional mechanic and have them get the air bubbles out, because your car is gonna overheat and you're gonna blow something else up. Radiator, water pump, all that. But I gotta get back on the road, man, because I ain't having those problems right now. I'm on my way. Get back in my office. It's gonna be hot today too, man. It's gonna be like 111 degrees, but it's gonna feel like 114. But if you let me tell it, it's gonna feel like 125. See, and you wonder why I got long sleeve on, right? Yeah, see, you probably ain't never been somewhere where it's like 110, 115 degrees, right? So this is the desert, so it's no humidity, just all heat. So I mean, you can wear a short sleeve if you want to, but you know, if you mess around and bump into something and it's hot, man, your whole arm will fall off. Your whole arm will fall off. It's hot. You start cooking. I don't know what they doing over there. They must. Oh, yeah. I don't know what they doing over there, because this is not an exit. This is not. This is a fake exit. I don't know what they doing over there. There ain't no bathroom over there. Let me get the hell from around here, man. They on some funny shit. Alright. Probably got less than 55 minutes. Damn. Now I've counted at least 8 cars broke down since I've passed the mountains getting across into this desert. At least 8. And there will be more. Because most people don't realize, if you haven't driven your car in a long time and you done changed one of those parts, you don't know nothing about making sure air bubbles not in your system. And right now we're at elevation 4,000 and going higher. So we're going to be at about 5,000 elevation, 5,000 feet. Make sure you got a good running car, because if you don't know your terrain, you're going to end up in the middle of nowhere not knowing you're going up a steep hill, because I didn't realize how steep this mountain was. This is like a mountain. You can't really tell by being on it, but for almost an hour, you're going straight uphill. Like an hour. And you think you're going to come to an end because it has like little dips in between. So it'll look like you're gonna start going downhill. All of a sudden you'll go downhill just a little bit. All of a sudden you're going back uphill again. I remember when the tow truck came to pick me up, he said, because I thought maybe it would go maybe another 10 miles, 15 miles. I thought maybe it'd start going downhill again. He said, you got about 30 or 40 miles or more uphill before you start going downhill again. My car would have never made it the way it was overheating. The way it was overheating, it would have never made it. I would have ran out of water. That was the reason why I pulled over right there. Because I thought I had access to water, but it was a fake little town that's been there for years. I guess they never made no money. I don't see why, because it's in the middle of nowhere. You would think that would be a booming town. Or a booming gas station or something, right? Yep, he said you are in the middle of nowhere. People break down all the time. Now here's another hill right here. I'll show it to you. Okay. Broke down again. Another car. See where that needle is on that temperature gauge? It should be below half. If your needle gauge, if your temperature needle gauge is on the middle, smack dab in the middle, smack dab in the middle, without going over any mountains, you're gonna have a problem. Because for one, you're gonna want to use your air conditioner. That's gonna put more pressure on the motor. And as soon as you put more pressure on the motor, the hotter your motor gonna get, the temperature gauge is gonna rise. So if you are in the city, at home, driving around in your town, and your temperature gauge is in the middle without going over any hills or mountains, that's not a car you want to be in trying to go over some mountains. I would say that is an unreliable car when it comes down to going across mountains. So make sure you keep that in mind. If you're going to go do a book signing, and it's far away and you know you got some hills and mountains to go across, your temperature gauge is in the middle before you even leave the city, you might want to rent a car. Now, one way you can test it, right? When you go to your mechanic, have him raise the front end of your car and let your car, drive it around for a while, let it get nice and warm and hot. And then when you go to your mechanic, have him jack up the front of the car, and you get in and you rev the engine up, you act like you driving the car, and press on the gas. I don't think the wheel, I think it should be in park. But raise the motor up, the front end of the car, have the car in park, and just have the engine rev up to about 2.5 on your RPM, and let it sit there for a while. And if the temperature gauge, most likely, if you got air pockets in your system, antifreeze system, it's gonna overheat. So that's one way I would think. I'm not no professional mechanic, but I've had plenty of cars, and I've had problems with some cars. So you learn something from each time you have a problem with a car. If you don't learn nothing, something wrong with you. So if you have a car and you have a problem with it, you should learn why that problem occurred and how to prevent that same problem from happening again. So this is one way I figured out how to prevent a problem that's very hard to detect. Because 9 times out of 10, if your car have air bubbles in it, it's going to be very hard to detect the air bubbles because you're going to think it's something else that's causing the problem. So just keep that in mind.